Forget everything you think you know about off-road trucks. In the frozen hell of Siberia, standard vehicles die in minutes. To survive the impossible, the Soviet Union built 10 terrifying steel monsters that laugh at mud, snow, and even nuclear radiation. We are uncovering the secret history of engineering giants so massive they shake the earth when they start. From amphibious rescue units to 8-wheel missile carriers, these aren't just trucks. They are war machines disguised as transport. Hit that subscribe button right now because you are about to witness the absolute peak of mechanical brute force. And trust me, do not click away, because the final machine on this list is a technological freak that defies physics. Let's unleash the beasts. Iwa Suskei. Kicking off our list is a machine built for a truly unique purpose, rescuing cosmonauts from the middle of nowhere. Meet the ZIL-4906, famously known as the Bluebird. When Soviet space capsules returned to Earth, they often landed in dense, inaccessible forests or freezing swamps. Standard military trucks would sink, and helicopters couldn't always land. Enter the Bluebird. Painted in a striking bright blue to be easily visible against the white snow or green foliage, this 6'6" amphibious vehicle was designed to float, swim, and claw its way to the landing site. It wasn't just a truck. It was a lifeline for heroes returning from the stars. Under the fiberglass body, the ZIL-4906 is an engineering marvel optimized for extreme versatility. Power comes from a robust ZIL-130 V8 engine producing around 150 horsepower. While a top speed of 47 mph on land isn't breaking records, its ability to travel at 5 mph on water using twin rear propellers makes it unstoppable. The Bluebird usually operated as part of a rescue complex alongside a crane-equipped version designed to lift the heavy space capsule out of the mud. Only about 30 of these incredible machines were ever produced, making them exceedingly rare today. The ZIL-4906 is a perfect example of Soviet problem-solving. If nature prevents you from retrieving your pilots, you don't change the landing zone. You simply build a machine that defies the laws of terrain. Next up, we move from rescue missions to something much more destructive. The 9K-7115 OKA is a tactical ballistic missile system, but the real star here is the carrier vehicle itself, the MAZ-7310 Developed in the late 1970s, this 8x8 monster was designed with one terrifying goal: to carry nuclear-capable missiles through swamps and rivers to launch locations that NATO satellites could never predict. Unlike most heavy missile carriers that are stuck on solid roads, the Oka was built to disappear into the wilderness. It represents the darker, more aggressive side of Soviet engineering. What makes the MAZ-6944 chassis truly mind-blowing is that despite weighing nearly 29 tons fully loaded, it is completely amphibious. It features a watertight hull reinforced to withstand the stress of firing a missile. Powered by a UTD-25 tank engine pushing out 400 horsepower, this beast can swim across lakes using water jets while carrying a payload capable of leveling a city. On land, it reaches speeds of up to 43 mph. The vehicle utilizes independent torsion bar suspension on all 8 wheels, ensuring that the delicate guidance systems of the missile aren't damaged while the truck is bashing through rugged off-road obstacles. The operational history of the Oka is shrouded in Cold War secrecy, but its engineering legacy is undeniable. The driver and crew sat in a reinforced cabin at the front, completely isolated from the missile compartment. The MAZ-6944 was so effective that it became a priority target for arms reduction treaties. Most were dismantled in the late 1980s, making footage of them in action incredibly rare. Seeing an 8-wheeled fortress emerge from a river dripping with water and ready to launch a weapon is a chilling reminder of the military might the Soviet Union possessed. If the previous machines were specialized tools, the Kraz-260 is the blunt hammer of the Soviet Army. Produced in Ukraine, this 6x6 heavy utility truck was designed to replace the legendary Kraz-255. It is instantly recognizable by its long, boxy hood and aggressive stance. The Kraz-260 wasn't built for comfort or speed. It was built to drag heavy artillery pieces and trailers weighing up to 30 tons through mud that would swallow a tank. It is the definition of a workhorse, serving as the backbone of logistical transport where paved roads were just a distant dream. Under that massive hood lies a turbocharged MZ-7310 V8 diesel engine roaring with 300 horsepower. While that might not sound huge by modern standards, the torque is earth-shattering. The truck features a centralized tire inflation system, allowing the driver to deflate the massive tires from inside the cab to increase surface area on sand or swampy ground. Fuel efficiency wasn't even a consideration. This beast guzzles diesel at an alarming rate, but in exchange it offers reliability that is almost mythical. It can operate in temperatures ranging from -58 degrees Fahrenheit to scorching desert heat without missing a beat. The driving experience of a CRAZ 260 is purely physical. There are no electronics to help you, just a massive steering wheel, heavy pedals, and the roar of the turbo. It was capable of fording water nearly 4 feet deep and climbing 58% gradients fully loaded. Even today, you can find these trucks working in the harshest environments of Siberia, often outliving the people who drive them. The CRAZ 260 proves that sometimes the simplest solution, big tires, a big engine, and a solid steel frame, is the best way to conquer the wild. At number 4, we have a legend of the Cold War, the MAZ-7310. While most trucks carry supplies, this 8x8 behemoth was built to carry the army itself. Designed as a heavy artillery and tank transporter, it is powered by a massive 38.9-liter V12 diesel engine, the D12A525. If that engine sounds familiar, it's because it's a direct descendant of the engine used in the famous T-34 tank. Producing around 525 horsepower, the MAZ-537 could tow loads of up to 143,000 pounds, 65 tons. When a Soviet tank broke down or needed to move fast, this was the monster that picked it up. The sheer size of the MAZ-537 is intimidating, but its appetite for fuel is even scarier. This machine measures fuel consumption not in miles per gallon but in gallons per mile. It consumes roughly 33 gallons of diesel for every 60 miles traveled. Despite this inefficiency, its off-road capabilities are legendary. With power steering and a hydro-mechanical transmission, it was surprisingly advanced for its time. The driver sits in a 4-seat cabin that overhangs the front wheels, giving a commanding view of the terrain, though the engine roar right behind the cabin is deafening. The MAZ-537 became the standard heavy hauler for the Soviet military for decades. It was capable of dragging nuclear missiles and armored vehicles through mud, sand, and snow where no other tractor could go. Its 8-wheel drive system ensured that even if a few wheels lost traction, the mission continued. While it has largely been replaced by more modern vehicles, the sight of a MAZ-537 smoking its way down a runway towing a strategic bomber or a main battle tank remains one of the most iconic images of Soviet military power. Coming in at number 5 is perhaps the weirdest truck on this list, the ZIL-135. At first glance, it looks like a standard 808 missile carrier, often seen carrying the Frog 7 artillery rockets. But look closer at the drivetrain, and you'll realize the engineers were absolutely insane. The ZIL-135 doesn't have one engine, it has two. Specifically, two ZIL-375 V8 gasoline engines mounted behind the cab. But here is the crazy part. Each engine powers the wheels on only one side of the truck. The left engine drives the left wheels and the right engine drives the right wheels. This dual drivetrain design means the ZIL-135 has two transmissions and two transfer cases. The advantage? If one engine fails or gets destroyed in combat, the truck can still limp home using the wheels on the other side. However, this made it a nightmare to maintain and incredibly thirsty, burning high-octane gasoline like it was water. Another unique feature is its steering. Only the first and last axles turn. This allows the massive vehicle to pivot around tight corners, crab-walking its way through obstacles. It essentially drives like a tank, but on wheels. Despite its mechanical complexity, the ZIL-135 was a robust platform capable of carrying 20,000 pounds of payload at speeds up to 40 mph. Its independent torsion bar suspension gave it excellent cross-country performance. However, because it used gasoline engines instead of diesel, the range was limited to about 250 miles. It serves as a fascinating example of redundancy engineering, building a machine so complex that it becomes hard to kill. Today, seeing a ZIL-135 in motion is a rare treat, listening to the unsynchronized roar of twin V8s battling for dominance. At number 6, we have a machine that looks like it drove straight out of a sci-fi movie, the ZIL-E-167. In the early 1960s, the Soviet Union needed a vehicle capable of navigating the deepest snow of the far north in Siberia, where no roads existed. The result was this bright orange experimental 6x6 monster. Only one was ever built, but its impact was legendary. It sits on massive fiberglass wheels, originally designed for scrapers, which are over 6 feet tall. The ground clearance is so high, 33 inches, that you could practically drive a sedan underneath it. Like the ZIL-135, the E-167 also used twin V8 engines mounted in the rear, producing a combined 360 horsepower. These engines powered an electric transmission system that drove the wheels. The body was made of fiberglass to save weight and resist the brutal cold. It was designed to operate in temperatures as low as -58 degrees Fahrenheit. During testing, it effortlessly conquered snow over a meter deep, leaving standard trucks buried in its wake. The cabin could seat 4 people and was heavily insulated, creating a cozy bubble in the middle of the frozen wasteland. Sadly, the ZIL-E-167 never entered mass production due to the complexity of its transmission and the high cost. However, the single prototype became a legend. It was so capable that when U.S. spy satellites spotted it, intelligence agencies allegedly thought the Soviets were building a fleet of invasion vehicles capable of crossing the Arctic directly into North America. Today, the sole surviving E-167 resides in a museum in Moscow, a silent orange giant reminding us of the wildest ambitions of Soviet automotive engineers. If wheels aren't enough, you bring in the tracks. At number 7 is the Vityaz DT-10, an articulated tracked vehicle designed for the absolute worst terrain on Earth. Vityaz means night, and this machine lives up to the name. Unlike a tank, the DT-10 consists of 2 units connected by a hydraulic joint. This unique articulated design allows it to bend and twist, keeping its tracks on the ground even when climbing over massive rocks or dipping into ravines. It is powered by a V46.5 V12 diesel engine, similar to those in T-72 tanks, churning out a massive 710 horsepower. The genius of the DT-10 is that both the front and rear units are powered. The hydraulic cylinders connecting them can force the vehicle to hump over obstacles or lift the nose to climb out of water. Yes, water. Despite weighing over 60,000 pounds, 30 tons, and carrying another 30 tons of cargo, the Vityaz is fully amphibious. It swims at roughly 3 miles, acting as a ferry for supplies in the swampy regions of the Arctic and Antarctica. It operates efficiently in temperatures ranging from -58 to +104 degrees Fahrenheit. The DT-10 is virtually unstoppable. It has extremely low ground pressure, meaning it floats over deep snow where a human would sink up to their waist. It is still in service today, used by the military and oil exploration teams in the most remote corners of Russia. Watching a DT-10 move is like watching a giant mechanical caterpillar. It doesn't fight the terrain, it flows over it. For sheer off-road capability, very few machines in history can compete with this tracked knight. At number 8 is an icon that anyone who grew up watching Cold War news will recognize, the MAZ-7310 Hurricane, or Hurricane. This 888 heavy truck is famous for its unique split-cab design. The driver sits on the left, the commander on the right, and the massive engine sits loudly in between them. This design allowed the vehicle to carry long ballistic missiles, like the infamous Scud, which could rest snugly between the 2 cabins to reduce the overall height. It was the face of Soviet mobile power, terrifying the West with its ability to launch attacks from anywhere. Powering the Hurricane is the reliable D12A525 diesel engine, producing 525 horsepower. It shares the same DNA as the MAZ-7310, but features an improved suspension system that allows it to act as a stable firing platform. With a top speed of around 37 mph, it wasn't built for racing, but for hauling 44,000 pounds of payload across rough terrain. It consumes fuel at a rate of roughly 2.3 miles per gallon, which is terrible for a car but standard for a 20-ton monster. The sound of a MAZ-7310 starting up is a deep, earth-shaking rumble that signifies pure industrial might. One of the most fascinating variants of the MAZ-7310 is the AA-60 airport crash tender. If you've ever seen a Soviet airport fire truck, it was likely this beast. With its immense off-road capability, it could charge across muddy fields to reach a crashed airliner where standard fire trucks would get stuck. It carried tons of water and foam, ready to fight jet fuel fires. Whether carrying missiles or saving lives, the MAZ-7310 proved to be one of the most versatile and rugged chassis ever produced by the Minsk automobile plant. As the Soviet Union dissolved, engineering didn't stop. Number 9 represents the modern evolution of those Soviet giants, the MZKT-7930 Astrolog. Built in Belarus to replace the aging MAZ-543 series, the Astrolog is the platform for Russia's most advanced weapon systems today, including the Iskander-M tactical missile system. Unlike its predecessors with split cabs, the Astrolog features a unified, continuous cabin that offers much better protection and ergonomics for the crew. It looks cleaner, meaner, and more futuristic. Under the hood sits a powerful Yamzi 846 turbocharged V12 diesel engine, kicking out 500 horsepower and massive amounts of torque. This allows the 888 truck to carry a payload of up to 52,000 pounds while reaching speeds of 43 mph. What sets it apart is its reliability and range. It can travel up to 620 miles on internal fuel, a huge improvement over the thirsty beasts of the past. The chassis is designed to flex and twist, keeping all 8 wheels on the ground even in the most broken terrain, ensuring the sensitive electronics on board are never shaken to pieces. The MZKT-7930 is a true multi-role platform. Beyond missiles, it serves as a heavy bridge layer, a radar carrier, and a support vehicle for the S-400 air defense system. It underwent brutal testing, including driving 18,000 miles through deserts, mountains, and swamps to prove it was worthy of the Red Army's legacy. It represents the successful transition of Soviet heavy industry into the modern era, proving that they are still the undisputed kings of building massive wheeled missile carriers. Finally, at number 10, we have the ultimate heavy lifter, the KZKT-7428 Rusich. Designed to replace the legendary MAZ-537 tank transporter, this machine is the definition of overkill. It was built with one specific job in mind: to haul modern main battle tanks like the T-90, which are significantly heavier than their predecessors. The Rusich is a tractor unit that commands respect on the road, looking like a brick wall on wheels with its massive tires and armored appearance. The heart of the Rusich is a monstrous YAMZ 8401 turbocharged V12 engine, delivering a crushing 650 horsepower. This extra power allows it to tow semi-trailers weighing up to 154,000 pounds, 77 tons, at speeds of up to 40 mph. It features a modern hydromechanical transmission with a locking torque converter, allowing it to start moving incredibly heavy loads on steep, slippery slopes without stalling. The cabin is also a major upgrade, featuring dual sleeping bunks for the crew, recognizing that these missions often take days in the vast Russian wilderness. Capable of operating in temperatures from -58 to +122 degrees Fahrenheit, the KZKT-7428 is built for global warfare. It has successfully served in the high mountains of the Caucasus and the scorching plains of Central Asia. When you see a Rusich thundering down the road with a tank on its back, you are witnessing the pinnacle of heavy off-road logistics. It is the final boss of Soviet lineage trucks, combining raw power with rugged durability to ensure that no matter where the battle is, the tanks will arrive on time. From the amphibious Bluebird to the mighty Rusich, these giants proved that Soviet engineering was truly unmatched. Which machine impressed you the most? Also, we need your input for next week's video. Should we cover the massive military trucks of the USA or Germany? Vote in the comments below. If you enjoyed this heavy metal history, smash that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into the world of extreme machines. Thanks for watching, and stay heavy.